YouTube, what is up, man? It is your boy, Jimmy James, Uncle Jimmy, back in the flesh with another video. Man, I am really excited to do this song for you guys today because this song, I believe, hands down, is Lecrae's greatest song of all time. Now, you guys might be wondering, what song is this? And we're going to get into it. But hands down, to me, this is the greatest song Lecrae has ever made. Now, you guys might have your opinions on which song is Lecrae's best. Hey, write it down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think is his best. But to me, this hands down was the best song that ever came out of this man for a bunch of different reasons. And I'll explain that, as we react to it, as well as we break it down, some of the lyrics and why it speaks to me, why I feel like it's his best song. So we're going to get into that. Along with that, man, if you guys like the video, hit the like button. That's going to help promote the channel. If you guys love the video and want to join the community, hit the subscribe button. Again, we want you to join the conversation and let's have fun with it. Along with that, yeah, I know Stu's not here today. Stu is on administrative leave, but it's okay. We got Donnie here. You know what I'm saying? He's still doing his Ninja Turtle thing. So we're going to go ahead and react to that. Dang, I got this freaking lawnmower in the background, so I'm sorry if y'all get distracted by that. But without further ado, the song we're going to be reacting to today is Cry For You by Lecrae and Taylor Hill. Now, this was the first time I ever heard Taylor Hill when this song came out. Along with that, this album was massive. Was a massive album for all things work together. Again, but this song, when I heard this, I had goosebumps the first time I heard this song. And I don't think I've really had a reaction to any other song quite like that. But I'm going to go ahead and break down this song and why it was so impactful for me. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and rock with it.
This thorn in my flesh is the only thing I got left. And it's so hard to confess when everybody thinks you're perfect. But I cry for you if you feel it too. And I cry for you if it's so hard to lose the elephants in the room.
Okay, so that right there is the hook of the song. And I'm going to start with the beginning part of it. This thorn in my flesh is the only thing I got left. And it's so real that so many people sometimes get to the end of themselves and they feel like all that they have is this thing, this flaw, this thing that's breaking them down. This is in reference to Paul when he was pleading with the Lord. Gosh, I want to say it was in Philippians. I can't remember. If y'all know the reference to that, let me know. But Paul was pleading with the Lord saying, yo, 3 times I pleaded with the Lord, take this thorn away from me. And that's where the God says, my grace is sufficient for you, right? So that's the scripture that is referenced in this song. But the way Lecrae applies it in this song is like game changing, absolutely game changing. But the other part of that is when everybody thinks you're perfect, right? It's hard to confess when everybody thinks you're perfect. That is the reality, I feel like, of so many Christians who are kind of walking in darkness, are walking in really just in fakeness because you're not living their truth, right? The reality of it is they're so worried about everybody thinking of them as perfect because they're so afraid of misrepresenting Jesus Christ that they're not willing to acknowledge the fact that they're a person with flaws and they're a person who's broken and who needs healing, all these different things. And so because they're mindful of how people perceive them, they have a hard time to confess their flaws, confess their sins, confess what's going on with them. And I think it's super important to acknowledge that. And then now at the end of it, he's like, yo, the elephant's in the room, right? The elephant's in the room. Now there's no, everybody can see like, this is my elephant, right? And I love that aspect of this song. But the cry for you part, that hook of the song, the cry for you, I'm actually going to break that down a little bit later and why I feel like that got me. But the opening of this song was mind blowing.
Take it away, I beg you, take it all away. The pain it causes, it makes me wish I could fade away. If they knew what you knew, they probably shun me. I'm surprised you know it all and you love me. I know I'll break your heart, but
wow. I'm surprised you know it all. You know it all, and you still love me, right? I know I'll break your heart. Like that, here's the reality of it. Like, people have to understand how much love God has for you. Like, the love that God has for you transcends all of the brokenness you got going on, right? It's so important for you to understand that. And even when you, not only just brokenness you got going on, but all the terrible things that you do, the terrible thoughts that you have, the day in, day out mistakes you constantly keep making, God has so much more love for you than that. And so God knows it all and he still loves you. And I think that's what Lecrae is acknowledging here. Like, I'm surprised you know it all and you still love me. This is what we call agape, right? Unconditional love. There's no other type of love that transcends this type of love, simply because God already knows it and he still chooses to love. And this is where people have to work to emulate that, right? Understand it for themselves and then replicate that for others. It's so important.
out of your death, give me rest. If my heart stops, then it don't hurt no more. Can't get worse no more. Can't pursue all these desires, it ain't cursed no more. No more lies about my worth no more.
You could see really here that Lecrae is at the end of himself, right? He's really at the end where he's just like, man, I'm hurting and I want to be at rest. I want to be at peace. And so he's just kind of waiting for that like release, right? And so he's kind of this is his moment where he's pleading with the Lord, like, Lord, like you love me still, but like I'm in the thick of it and it hurts and I'm hurt by others. I'm hurting myself. I'm making mistakes. I'm at the end, and Lecrae being more real here than he's ever been, I think really is what sets the tone for this song, and it set the tone for this album. That to me, this is what starts to make this the greatest song he's ever created.
I understand the thoughts of suicide that do reside, but when I stop and think about my family, I feel new inside.
For those of you who are wondering, like, you know, you're a Christian, you believe in God, like, why would you consider suicide, yada, 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 suicide, you know, downplaying the fact that believers can actually go through heavy depression and thoughts like this can enter into their mind. I think I resonate with this more than anything because I was one of them. And I think that hit me more than anything when you have moments where the world seems so dark and you're just like, God, I need you more than anything. I think that's what speaks to me the greatest.
I understand the thoughts of suicide that do reside, but when I stop and think about my family, I feel new inside. I promised I would die 1,000 deaths before I cause them any pain, but somehow I end up killing everything.
This is what transformed Lecrae in that moment, was realizing that, you know, it's more than just him. That he has to think about, but it's his family. It's everybody who loves him, that would be hurt by the thought of you doing an action as drastic as that.
I cry for you. If you feel it dark, twisted, heart-wrenching, hate to see your own reflection, praying for an intervention, feeling guilt and feeling shame. I just call on Jesus' name, praying daily. Can you take away this pain? Take the thorn away. Still.
This is the difference, and this is why he is my biggest inspiration. I think so often we see people that we feel are worthy of our judgment, but we don't see people as worthy of our tears. And Lecrae gets it. I think he gets it here, where he understands that people being flawed and making mistakes, and some people being arrogant and flaunting their issues and things like that, instead of just judging them and being angry at them and hating them, Lecrae is saying, like, I'll cry for you, man. Like, instead, I'll shed my tears over you, because this is not who you're supposed to be. This is not who you were created to be. And folks who are feeling guilt and shame, instead of attacking them with judgment, Lecrae is saying, I'm calling on Jesus for you. And then he talks about asking God to take the thorn away. This is in reference to Paul. So we're going to go and
Praying daily, can you take away this pain? Take the thorn away, still it remains. I feel the same, I know that I'm healed, but still feeling the same. Satan would love to see me give up and throw up my hands. He say I'm guilty, but you say I'm clean.
yeah. And I love how the imagery of that clean being written in red, because you have to understand that Jesus, because of what he did on the cross, he sees you as clean, right? He sees he sees all people as clean. So for those who are feeling like everybody's saying I'm guilty, but Jesus is saying, like, he's clean, like the worst of I died for that, right? And a lot of times we don't look at ourselves that way, because we don't perceive that. I feel like that's us in our disbelief. That's us not believing the level of grace that God has on us. But when we recognize that what Jesus sees us as, because of the place that he took instead of us, it's so important.
This thorn in my flesh is the only thing I got left, and it's so hard to confess when everybody thinks you're perfect. But I cry for you if you feel it too, and I cry for you if it's so hard to lose the elephants in the room.
Sunday morning or Sunday.
Again, just that cry for you piece, man. Not thinking about how much I'll judge you, but instead I'm gonna cry for you. That's so important, man.
The elephants in the room.
Sunday morning or Sunday morning, I woke up dead inside from all the hurt I saw before me. Evil trying to take away my testimony, staring at my phone, feeling like a phony.
All right, so I'm going to say this real quick, just from that line right there. For those of you who feel like I can't share my story because there's too much hurt, too much pain, I can't, whatever, it's too broken or whatever, I want you to understand that your story doesn't belong to you. That your story belongs to the Lord, to use for his purposes, to bring glory to him, right? So if you don't recognize that your story doesn't belong to you, then you're going to struggle with this. Like, once you realize that all the pain, all the stuff that you've endured, all the mistakes you've made, all the sins you've made, all that stuff like that, sins you've committed, all those different things that's happened doesn't necessarily belong to you, but they belong to the Lord to be used for his purposes. And so in this moment, I think Lecrae is starting to understand that, like, evil trying to take away my testimony, right? And I start, and he's feeling like a phony, right? Evil, the devil is going to be in your head telling you that you can't say this, you can't share this, you can't share this because it's too broken. This is your shame talking. And God's saying, yo, like, you don't know who this is going to impact. You don't know who's going to be changed by you coming to grips with your reality and bringing other people out of their brokenness, right?
Oh, I cry for you. I would die for you to escape the pain I feel from all that I've been through.
I'll cry for you and I'll die for you. That's I think that goes both ways. That's a word from God himself saying that, like, I'll cry for you and I'll die for you. And that's a word, I think, from Lecrae, who's looking at others who are going through the same pain, right? That I would die for you because I understand that pain, the shame, all that stuff like that you're going through, you matter. Because you matter, I'm willing to do that instead of passing judgment.
I feel it in my soul and in my chest. Take away this ugly thorn inside my flesh. Give me death, but grace is sufficient to start my mission. I'm so far from perfect, can't believe they listen.
Grace is sufficient to start my mission, right? In the midst of all of it, God is still giving you a calling and a purpose, and he's giving you a mission that you have to respond to, right? This is for you. And so grace being sufficient enough for Lecrae to continue in his mission, I think is so powerful. And what an amazingly poetic imagery he's put here in the song of grace being sufficient for him to continue to bring hope and light to the world.
But hear a broken man tell you healing happens, and hear a liar tell you truth to bring you gladness. I could never
hear a broken man tell you healing happens and a liar tell you truth to bring you gladness. That's true. We've all lied before. We've all been broken. You know what I'm saying? That does not mean that we can't tell truth. The moment you've lied does not mean that you can't continue and walk in truth and tell truth. And so I feel like other people who say, oh, yo, like this person is an adulterer, right? So they can't give me any word about how to have a good, clean marriage, right? That's cap. You know what I'm saying? There are so many people who walked in darkness and then began to walk in light and now want to speak about the light that they're walking in. And you have to be willing to, like, listen to that, right?
boast in my accomplishments. I can only hope in God with confidence.
That's a reference to Paul as well, right? That Paul said, I can't boast. He said, if I'm, I can't boast in anything I've done, but he's really saying, but if I must boast, I'll boast about Jesus Christ, right? That's a reference from Paul. I don't remember the scripture reference off the top of my head, but it's so important for us to get that we don't boast about anything that we do or don't do.
Opposite of optimist, you and I are consonants, broken all the vows, deserving of every consequence. Will you cry for me, or will you judge me? Will you throw stones at my head, or will you love me?
Those are your two options. Either you're going to cry for somebody or you're going to judge them. Every day in my job, I deal with a lot of teens who are hurting, a lot of teens who are broken, who do dumb things, who do things that don't make sense, that hurt other teens. And I'm presented with an option literally almost every day I go to work. And that is, I could cry for this teen or I could judge them. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a reality for everyone I encounter. I could cry for them or I could judge them. So we got to be able to answer that question. What are we going to do here? Are we going to cry for this person or are we going to judge them? It's up to you.
I could never be everything that you want to see, but crooked sticks draw straight lines. Just look at me. But crooked sticks draw straight lines. Just look at me.
Yeah, that's really it. That's really it. Crooked sticks draw straight lines. Every single one of us is a crooked stick, even me. But I'm going to do my best to draw a straight line to hope, to the one that matters. And that's what this community is for. That's why I do this, is because I feel like through this medium, through YouTube or whatever, I can maybe draw a straight line to offer hope for people who need it. And at the same time, I get to have fun with it. So that's what this is for.
This thought in my flesh is the only thing I got left, and it's so hard to confess when everybody thinks you're perfect. But I cry for you if you feel it too. And I cry for you if it's so hard to lose the elephants in the room.
All right, so yo, that's it. That's "Cry for You" by Lecrae and Taylor Hill. This to me is his greatest song of all time. I don't think he's ever done a better song. I already know this song is probably gonna get a copyright claim, which is cool. I'm okay with that. But I really wanted to show this song justice, and I know this is a longer video, so I appreciate you guys sticking with me and watching this video with me. But I really wanted to do this song justice because I feel like the messages in this song is vastly important for us to get, especially as we're navigating unprecedented times in our social, in the social environment, in everything going on, where you're seeing people exposing other people, all these different things. I really think it's important to have a mindset of care and grace and love for others. And that's what we want to do here in this community. So, hey, thank you guys for watching. Again, if you liked it, hit the like button. That's going to promote the video. If you loved it, hit the subscribe button. Let's join the community and let's build this together. All right. I'll see you guys in the next video.